So, let's talk about Oni-Con. I just came from there about, not this past weekend, the weekend before. It was pretty damn fun. Now, I had a unique side of this. I wasn't just going as an attendee. But I wasn't going as a guest either. It's kind of weird. I've been a guest at conventions just on my own merits because they invited me out because I'm a great panelist. I do tons of panels. Some of you might be here because you were a fan of some of my live content. And, well, also YouTube. But mostly, people know me because I'm Linkara's wife. And if you don't know who Linkara is, he does a top to fourth wall. He reviews comics. He's been doing it for 10 years. He's really good at it. And might I say he's handsome? I'm kind of like legally obligated to say that because he's my husband. But yeah, I also come to these cons too, and I usually get a free badge out of it. Sometimes it's a free guest badge on top of that. So I'm kind of in this weird, I'm not a guest, but I could get some guest perks because I'm married to someone. And it's kind of awkward when I'm at things like the guest dinners or stuff, and there are people and some other guests are like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I do blah, 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 but really I'm just here because I'm this guy's wife. So it feels kind of, oh God, I'm an asshole, and oh God, I'm not worth anything. I'm not worth getting invited on my own merits anymore. I lost my YouTube channel, which was all the popularity cred I had. What am I gonna do now? However, it was a pretty amazing place. We stayed at the San Luis Resort. Great place, highly recommended, but there was ants and a tub thing. But luckily that got all sorted out while I was there. But that doesn't reflect on the con. That's just the San Luis Resort. They have a heated pool, though. A heated pool and hot tub. And Galveston, Texas. Cold. Kind of weird, ugly beach because of some sort of oil thing. But the gem that is in that town is Oni-Con itself. This is a very great down-to-earth con. One of my favorite things about it is that it had a huge emphasis on J fashion. Now, if you don't know, that's Japanese fashion. I'm mostly referring to basically the Harajuku quote-unquote style people think of, but also Gothic Lolita, Sweet Lolita, Fairy K, Decora K, Visual K, all sorts of things. They had designers out from like Sexpot Revenge, who I've been a fan of their work and their clothing since I was like 18 years old. So it was pretty amazing seeing it sold and seeing the fashion show there. And yeah, they invited out Lovely Lore as well, who I've been following on YouTube for years now, since Shit Lolita Says back in the day. And she's a really nice person. She's pretty down to earth to meet. It was like talking to like just another friend at the con, and she's really great. If you ever get to meet Lovely Lore, or if you're looking for anyone to invite to a convention with, especially if you have J fashion influence on it, definitely invite her. I think she's a great guest, great person. But also, sadly, because I was also in this kind of guest, not guest thing, I had to do things such as run Linkara's table because he wasn't there the whole con. He couldn't get there till Saturday, which was kind of weird because I was like, yeah, if you're interested or if you want to meet Linkara, he won't be here till Saturday. Sorry, he won't be here till Saturday. He won't be here till Saturday. And yeah, spending time in the dealer's room was kind of my thing all con. But I got to see the fashion show, which was my main event I wanted to see. I was like, Lewis, you watch this table. I'm going to go to fashion show. You're not stopping me from fashion show. It was great. It's been a while since I've been to a fashion show, but usually when I go to fashion shows, or there are fashion shows, there isn't like, woo, yeah, woo, all right. Like when people come on, it's mostly like kind of, you hear the music, it's quiet, everyone's just focusing on the models and their looks. But you know, this was kind of a woo crowd, and I just kind of rolled with it like, okay, it's an anime con. It's not like it's New York Fashion Week. My only sad point is that it was like kind of short because they only have like really 3 brands there. But man, I would love to see like a dedicated J fashion show event, like not even part of convention. But honestly, I think something like that could only really exist if it was part of a larger fashion week event that a city is hosting. And if there is any city that would do it, it would be like either LA or Texas, because Texas has so much Japanese stuff in it. Now, other things about the con, I did love how in the gaming room they had Taiko Drum Master, which everybody was lined up to do. It was on a big screen. It was like projection, actually. And it was just fun hanging out with people doing that. One thing that's different is that the artist alley wasn't like a separate room. It was actually in the convention center in the hallways. Like, you walk down the hallway, and on each side of the hallway, you just see artist alley tables. So it's like a literal alley, in a way. On one good side, you're always guaranteed traffic by your table. So it's like, if you were an artist alley participant at Oni-Con, let me know how that went. Because I thought it was kind of cool how you always got traffic, but on the bad side, I do worry about security, and I used to be an artist alley person, so that would be probably my number one worry about it. But yeah, if you were also at Oni-Con, let me know if you actually saw me, talked to me, or what was your thoughts on it. I just think it's a nice down-to-earth convention. I had fun at some of the panels. We ran craziest Japanese commercials at Oni-Con, and it went great. And I had Lewis help me with this time, and we basically riff crazy Japanese commercials. It's probably my most fun and easiest panel to do because it's just me showing commercials. But it's not just me pressing play and just sitting back. I think of some jokes up ahead, and I also curate them. So there's like a flow to craziest Japanese commercials. It's not just me bunging them all up. So now I'm going to let you know what is my secret to making a great crazy Japanese commercial, like, presentation, for lack of a better term. I have certain themes in certain parts of it. Like, say, there's a chunk, I have a bunch of crazy Japanese cat commercials, and I'll put them in kind of like a themed part, and then I'll have it transition through like a commercial that kind of is added with something else, into, say, all the anime-based commercials. That's what I did with the Kanfuru commercial, which is Japanese cats that's animated. And then from there, I might go into food commercials or ramen commercials or just car commercials. I did put in, there was a bunch of cars, but I also break these things up with a recurring gag. For me, it's always Tarako. Tarako is the most annoying, weird-ass commercial campaign for Tarako pasta sauce or something. Tarako, Tarako, Tapuri, Tarako. Imagine that just, million times in a row. And they always get a groan and a reaction from the audience. I love it. But also popular things like Long, Long Man. Long, Long Man! Oh, if you haven't seen any of these, I'm going to link them down below. But yeah, that's kind of what I do. I also have a great Japanese commercial to start with. Usually it's one of the longer ones. The one I started with this year is the Domino's Pizza one that AC Collective did. They're the ones who also did Bob Team Epic parts of Pop Team Epic. And I also start and finish with some sort of end pieces. In this case, it was the Bob Team Epic where they look at a music video and Papaco puts it in, and then I cut to the Domino's commercial and then the rest of the panel. And then I end with, Pippin me saying, "Get that videotape out of here and toss it in the trash." And that's how I end it. Last year, it was me using the Mr. Sparkle Japanese commercial from The Simpsons. "You have chosen wisely. Enjoy this commercial." And then the last commercial in the panel is Mr. Sparkle! So yeah, that's basically how I make the craziest Japanese commercial panel. Now, the thing about it is, I never have the same presentation every con. In fact, I change it every convention because well, commercials come out more every season. And there's more new ones every season. And sometimes I'll put in weird, say, kind of inspired Japanese commercials, like the stuff Mike Diva does. If you haven't checked out Mike Diva stuff, highly recommend it. I'll link that down below. But yeah, stuff like his Furby commercial or super kind. And then I'll do something weird like Meanwhile in Egypt and show one of the panda commercials. Or Meanwhile in something else, like Meanwhile on your UHF station was me showing the Spatula City from UHF. And for you little kids who are like babies, UHF was a part of your TV dial, back when TV had dials, where you switched it over and you get another set of channels with your antenna. So another weird thing about being like the guest side of things, besides not being a guest, is, I don't know, it's just, one, feeling like kind of a hanger-on, two, feeling like you're not quite an attendee or a panelist or anything, even though I just did one panel. But you know what is great about it? After party and the guest dinner. If you're ever at the San Luis Resort in Galveston, Texas, go to the grotto, get that crab and shrimps, like pasta or whatever. They also have the best bread. I want to eat that like every day. Every day. I just love pasta that much. But other things about Oni-Con. I wish I got to see more of the programming. I loved meeting and talking with the other guests that I've seen. I like where I stayed. I loved a lot of the artists. And oh man, I gotta tell you about the dealer's room, because the dealer's room had some really great dealers, and I probably spent too much because, like I said before, this is kind of a Japanese fashion con in a way too. So they had a lot of people over here in the US that makes clothing kind of inspired by that, as well as some people from Japan with their clothing to sell, as well as someone who makes anime nails. Now, what do I mean by that? They paint anime characters on your nails. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So yeah, I ended up spending a lot because I like to be a little kawaii girl and have all my accessories. Seriously, you should see my kawaii chest, which is where I keep all my cute kawaii Desune Decora accessories. I love them so much. But yeah, this is a con worth going to. Now, don't expect a con where you're going to run to panels all the time because there's always something going on. It's kind of more of a leisurely kind of con. It's good for first-timers. Also, the cosplay game was surprisingly high. There was a guy who was a full Gundam. A full Gundam. I'm going to just put that on screen real quick. Full Gundam. There was this great White Diamond cosplayer, and with the recent news that Steven Universe is coming back on December 17th, oh my god, perfect.